And then I met a lot of people, and it was fun. It was fun for me. I was building a new life and didn't quite know where to start. And everybody is so dedicated and like-minded, like myself, so I felt at home. And then I started to, I met another friend, and she said, well, you have to come to some kind of political activity. So she said, there's a birthday party for one of the candidates, and it's at the American Legion Hall. And she said, why don't you come and help us out? You meet some new people. And I said, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So I get there, and they're blowing up like a zillion balloons, and I hate balloons. I hate the way they smell. I hate the way they feel. I hate it when they pop, and I'm afraid that the helium machine is going to explode. So they put me in charge of blowing up the balloons. So I'm very cautiously slipping the balloons on and trying to get them done, and I'm going very slowly because I don't want anything to blow up on me. So this woman comes over to me and she says, here, let me show you how to do that. And she kind of pushes me out of the way, and she's doing one balloon after the other. So I thought, fine, she wants to do balloons, let her go do balloons. Well, it turns out it was Kate Hanley, and it was her birthday party, and I had no idea. So I moved on from that. I have 4 sons, and we always had huge meals, and they invited their friends. So what I could do was I could cook. So I got involved in doing parties, fundraisers for people, and would provide the food. And then from there, individual candidates asked me if I would be a volunteer coordinator, because I had met a lot of people. So I became a volunteer coordinator for a couple of campaigns. And then Senator Sasslaw called me and said he needed a campaign manager, and he wanted me to be his campaign manager. Well, I barely knew who he was. I said, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. I don't know how to do anything like that. He said, of course you can. So I became his campaign manager, and have been ever since, and I'm now his treasurer. And my oldest son and my youngest son are both attorneys, and they were both Republicans. And the youngest one lives in Wisconsin. And he says, Mom, he says, a Democrat in Wisconsin is a Republican. So he said, you know, don't be upset about it, it's okay. So after the first Bush term, both my oldest and my youngest came to me and said, okay, you win. What can we do to make sure that Bush doesn't get elected again, to make sure that Kerry gets elected? So I told them, and they both volunteered. Okay, so my 2 sons that voted for George W. Bush the first time, the second time around asked me what they could do to make sure that we didn't have 4 more years of George W. Bush. So I told them that they could volunteer, how they could participate, and they did. And now I'm happy to say that all 4 of my sons vote Democratic, and I'm sure we always will. My sons didn't understand that, and a lot of people that I've met who are running for office for the first time don't understand that you have to start in the grassroots. You have to start locally. You can't just say, I'm going to run for president or I'm going to run for Congress. You really need the background. You need to work your way up and learn all the steps that there are to take. And you need to meet people. You need to have people that will believe in you. And it takes time. You don't just jump in and say, I want to run for Congress, for instance. I've worked on many congressional campaigns where the candidates were terrific people, but they didn't have a prayer because this is the first time they'd ever run for office, and it's just really terribly frustrating. So I think, I'm sure that my sons have gotten that message, and they may not really want to vote for the person that they're voting for, but they know that they need to vote Democratic to make things work.